Hello, this is a video walkthrough of my Volkswagen Rabbit. It's a 1984 Rabbit GTI. I've had the car for about 15 years now. It was repainted at some point before I bought it. It does shine up pretty well. The one thing I would say about the paint is it looks like maybe a little bit of dust got on it at some point while it was being sprayed. It's kind of hard to capture on film, but there's a number of areas where there's these little bumps. At one point about 10 years ago, before I kind of knew what I was doing, I got a little too aggressive trying to wet sand that out and did burn through in these two spots right here. Fortunately, I stopped once I saw that and did not attempt to do that again for quite some time. And then I've since done just a little bit of light wet sanding on other parts of the car, and it definitely has helped. This is really the biggest noteworthy bump right here. That was an unfortunate casualty of being in a garage with power tools. But it's fairly fresh. There's no rust or anything there. Rather than try to cover that up, I decided to just leave it as is. Other than that, it's just a few little rock chips here and there on the front. Like I said, this paint job, even though it has been resprayed, it's at least 15 years old now. Although the car has never really seen daily driver use. It's lived in my garage the entire time I've owned it, other than brief periods of time parked outside. But for the most part, garage kept, only really driven on the weekends. This windshield was replaced about 2 years ago. So the seal is really good there. No rust on the window seal channel. And I do have photos in the gallery of when the glass was out. Rest of the window seals are in pretty good shape. This top edge, particularly on the passenger side, is a little rough. That could probably get replaced. This tape is kind of holding it together. It's split all the way down here. The outside seals all around are pretty good, especially these back ones. These are really nice. I think this glass was replaced at some point. It doesn't have a Volkswagen logo on it. All the other windows do. These tires and wheels are also about 2 years old. The wheels are perfect. Like I said, it doesn't get daily driven, so it's not really exposed to much weather. There's hardly any miles on these tires, but I'm 2 years old. Again, this top edge, this side's better than the other side, but there's a little split right there. Sunroof seal is in good shape all the way around. Pop the hood here. Here we are under the hood. The engine is a ABA block out of a Mark III Golf or GTI with the JH solid lifter head that would have been original to the 84 GTI. It's running on a Mega Squirt engine management. Let's see, I believe those are out of a G60 Corrado. The injector's there. It has an idle control valve. Some of the wiring for the Mega Squirt. The actual Mega Squirt unit is mounted under the dash. I'll have a photo of that in the gallery. It has a Tektronix, I believe it's a 276 degree cam, and a Tektronix 4-into-1 exhaust headers, and then Tektronix from the headers back exhaust system as well. The transmission is a 020-9A out of a 16 valve Mark II, and it has the correct axles and hub assemblies for that transmission. The dimensions are slightly different than the original Mark I. Has H&R coilovers and poly bushings all around. It actually rides, I mean, it's bumpy, but it rides pretty nice for how low it sits. Let's give it a cold start. So it hasn't actually started in about 2 weeks. It's about 55 degrees in my garage here. Back it out where there's a little more light and I can show the interior a little bit. All of the dash lights work. Here's the interior. I would describe it as pretty clean overall, but you know, not perfect. This driver's seat does have this little split here. It's been like that for quite a while. I had a piece of tape covering it to keep it from getting worse, which has been doing its job. I just peeled it off to show what it looks like underneath. There's another little split right here. As is typical with particularly the blue Mark 1s, it seems like all these blue plastics fade. This center console, obviously, is pretty typical fading. These are always split. All these gauges work. It does still have the little crown on the clock, which is apparently pretty rare. These are a little beat up here. Back seat is very clean though. No cracks in the dash. There is a little trim piece that's supposed to be up here. It's missing. Rear parcel shelf is in really good shape. One more thing I wanted to add. So there's supposed to be these black rubber straps that hold up this parcel shelf here. And for the longest time, they were really difficult to find. And I kind of stopped looking and just used these little kind of ugly string things. They work, but you don't really see them. But I just checked again, and it looks like somebody has started making them again, and they're only like 10 bucks for a pair, but they all ship from the UK, so it could be a kind of a slow process to get them before the auction. But they are readily available and cheap. Really clean inside of here. Still really clean, no rust. Original tire. Taillights are in really good shape, as are all the side markers. Glove box light. This little adjuster here is snapped off. Let's go for a drive. Forgot to mention the headliner. As is typical for these, the headliner is pretty saggy. Definitely needs to be replaced. The fabric itself is in okay shape, but it's just delaminated itself. And definitely needs to be replaced. I took this part down because it was just raining down foam pieces on my head while I would drive, but I do have all of the hardware for the sunroof. This visor right here, the hinge assembly seized up and would not fold up, so I just took it off. I do have that though. This one still works fine. But yeah, the whole headliner really could stand to be replaced. More of the back seat again, more of that fading of the blue plastic, and that part of the fabric on the back there has a lot of rips in it. If you were redoing the headliner, that would also get redone.